Water is our most precious resource, and therefore the conservation of it is imperative to the sustainability of future generations. The Earth's surface is covered by 70% water, but only 2.5% is potable for human consumption. Australia is the driest inhabited continent on Earth, but yet ranks the fourth highest in water usage per capita. Two main causes of water scarcity have been put down to anthropogenic causes such as overusage of freshwater supplies, and environmental factors such as drought and climate change also attributed to the human consumption. But what are we doing to conserve our water usage at a urban scale? Like most major cities, Sydney gets its water from the outskirts of the metropolitan from Warragamba Dam. And although most of us are under the impression that we are in a drought, the Sydney Catchment Authority states that our reservoir is 97.9% full. Restrictions on Sydney's water usage have been placed to prohibit certain outdoor water usage, but despite being educated on this, as you can hear by my neighbour who frequently waters her own fence, we still continue to waste water. So maybe we should be penalising people financially for their poor water habits. This is called tiered water metering system, which is currently enforced in the California metropolitan, where residents are charged higher rates for unnecessary water usage as per the amount of people living there. As a resident of Sydney, my electricity bills are always more expensive than my water bills. Is this indicative that electricity is more privatised, or that our water bills do not include the energy it takes to sanitise and deliver it, therefore not fully compensating for the cradle-to-grave costs to have clean drinking water? Here I'm at the office with Mr Energy from the Sydney Desalination Plant in Kurnell, Cronulla, New South Wales. And I want to know, what will the desalination plant do to help the water crisis?
Well, it's quite simple really. We turn seawater into fresh water by using reverse osmosis, therefore giving Sydney another option for fresh water.
This desalination plant looks awful expensive. How much did this cost to build?
Well, it cost the government $70 million to build. But did you know, it takes a lot of energy to run also. To run a desal plant of this size, which could possibly supply half of Sydney's water, would be the equivalent to put an extra 1 million cars on the road.
So these are environmental and financial trade-offs to Sydney's water security.
Well, the desalination plant is not going to operate until the dams are below 70% possible capacity.
That's enough from you, Mr Energy. I've made up my mind. Desalination as a safety net for our most valuable resource has negative effects on profit and place of a metropolitan. The Californian government is already using desalination plants and proposed to build another 16 plants, but for the time being turning to a new funky little innovation, little black balls.
The so-called shade balls are the brainchild of David Peterson.
The balls, really, they're intended for three reasons. They help to cut down on evaporation. That helps us save water. And then it also helps to prevent algae from growing in the reservoir, so it improves our water quality. And then finally, as a side benefit, it helps keep the birds off the surface. And birds do their thing, and that causes a problem.
This week, the mayor of Los Angeles released 20,000 black balls into the Los Angeles reservoir. California is in its fourth year of a catastrophic drought that has led the state to issue a series of steps to reduce water consumption. The shade balls work for 2 decades. They cost 36 cents each and are expected to save some 300 million gallons of water annually.
The article that I originally looked at highlighted the measures being brought into Californian cities by the passage of turf removal to reduce the waste of water at an outdoor level and groundwater sediment. Despite there being a political agenda behind this article, this is in fact a good idea, seeing as over half of Sydney and California's water delivery is being spent on outdoor usage. After reading government reports and newspaper articles, I've concluded that as a country with low precipitation levels, we are dealing with an increasing urban population's water needs, in comparison to California, pretty damn well. But if people do not know the facts about urban water conservation and make an effort and stop doing things like I'm doing my own yard right now, this could all change very quickly.